My name is Lizzie, welcome to my channel, and today we are talking The Grudge. So, if you have not seen this film, I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but I am going to kind of get into some things due to dealing with, of course, the first one. Any details that I feel like you would know if you have seen the first one I'm going to talk about. So, I would just keep that in mind for if you have also not seen the first one. I don't feel like you necessarily have to have seen the first one to see this remake, just as an FYI, but you will have to watch this review. So let's go ahead and just get into talking about it real quick. This movie, I believe, it is supposed to take place at the same time as the events of the original, but this movie does get a little confusing with your timeline. They show events from 2004 and 2005, and then I don't know if the rest of it is supposed to be taking place now. This entire film really feels like it kind of takes place in the 70s. I don't know if it's just supposed to be a small town, and so it's just like, you know, everything has kind of remained old age, or what's going on, but just from the cars they drive to just the way the movie was filmed itself just feels very 70s and makes it it makes it pretty confusing, especially when you are doing time jumps and nothing is different at all. That was also something that really bothered me. It's like, if you're going to be jumping from different years, things need to be at least somewhat different. Obviously, 2004 to 2005 wouldn't be that different, but whatever time we're currently supposed to be in, for the movie as a whole, should have been at least somewhat different. But that's the thing, it's very confusing. I'm not even sure what year the majority of the film is supposed to be taking place from, but basically it focuses on this woman who is a police officer, and she and her son moved to this town after the death of her husband, and the first investigation that she's thrown into connects her to this house, which is basically where the Grudge takes place. Like I said, if you have seen the original, you'll kind of know that everything's really attached to the house. Whoever lives in the house or even just goes into the house gets this grudge attached to it, and then therefore is going to die. And so because of this investigation, this cop starts to dig deeper. She finds out about the house in Japan. She finds out about all the previous deaths, and really starts to dig into it. And that's where you have these back and forths, basically, in these flashbacks. To be honest, I didn't hate the film. Now, granted, I went into it with not high expectations. I haven't watched any reviews of it because I didn't want anything spoiled, but from what I've kind of generally seen, and even if you do a quick Google search of The Grudge 2020, it just seems like all pretty negative. Now, I will say it is kind of hard for me to give like my true feelings about this film in this review, because honestly, my movie-going experience was just basically ruined by the assholes around us. So, I mean, Matt went, and there was this group of very young kids, like, in kind of rows further down towards the front, but they were just being obnoxious. They kept, like, moving around. There was, like, a freaking baby, in a horror film. And at one point, another lady did get up and go, I guess, complain about them. I kind of saw out of the corner of my eye someone getting up. Kicked out of the movie theater pretty early on, which was great. But there were still other freaking obnoxious people. Like, they would have been, like, they were far enough down that it probably would have been okay, but there was this lady diagonally from me who kept, like, yelling. Like, at one point, she leans forward and tells him to shut the baby up, which I was like, what the fuck, lady? And then, like, eventually, like, when they're getting kicked out, she's, like, starts clapping, it's like, thank you, and she's, like, just being the worst. Like, you're like, they were not as annoying as you were being right now, lady. And then the people behind us, they were those people that go to horror films and intentionally just act like assholes. Like, they kept like purposely just being like and then like laughing after stuff happened, and like just purposely being over dramatic. And like at one point, like this guy, like you knew what was gonna happen in certain parts, but this guy just like say stuff and you're just like, come on dude, like just stop. Like, those people annoy me so badly, and I know they're probably not the kind of people that are gonna be watching horror reviews, but if you don't want to go to a horror movie to enjoy a fucking horror movie, then don't go to a fucking horror movie. Like, just, I hate those people. There's always, I feel like, that fucking group. So our movie-going experience was pretty much ruined, which I don't think helped with the film. So who knows, I could have a different opinion on the film if I was just watching it alone at home. I thought it was an okay film, but I mean, you're not really missing out on a whole lot if you don't see this one in theaters. You know, a lot of jump scares, which is kind of what the Grudge films are, just in general, really. There weren't really, like, there were some scenes that were, like, intentionally meant to be very gruesome, but I don't feel like they had the same effect on me as the original. Now, I did see the original Grudge when it came out, which I was quite younger, and you know, it scared me. I was definitely, like, it was before I was a horror fan, so that was definitely, I saw it at a sleepover, and it was a movie that for sure scared me. This one, not so much. It was alright. And kind of one of the things, like, me and Matt were talking about when we were leaving the movie theater is just kind of rehashing these films constantly. I told him on the way home, you know, it is something that the horror genre is definitely guilty of, for sure, but we were just talking about it just in general. Like, we're walking out of the theater and you look up, and Matt pointed out that, like, you look up and you see, like, another fucking Jumanji movie, and it's just like, and Bad Boys, you know, and another Bad Boys movie, and just, again, like, we saw a poster for Mulan. It's just constantly rehashing these films, and we all keep falling for it. I don't fucking know why we keep falling for it. So, I don't know. It's just, you're not missing out on much if you don't go see this one in theaters, to be honest. But I don't feel like I passionately hated it. But that also might be because I do like The Grudge, the originals. Like I said, it terrified me back then. But it's not a film that necessarily holds any special place in my heart. So I can definitely see, for maybe big fans of the original, how they could feel that way. For me, I was like, it's okay. But yeah, I saw it. It was alright. So if you have seen it, let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy this review, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button for more horror related content. And I'll see you guys later with another video. Bye.